Welcome to the Flex Forward podcast, where grit meets growth. With your host, Nic Espanet, bringing you stories of resilience, reinvention, and the real climb to success.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Flex Forward podcast. Today, we are joined by Jonna Anaya. Jonna is the owner with her husband of Senior Helpers in North Tarrant County, and I think you said Denton County. Jonna, glad to have you today. Glad to get to know you a little bit. Can you let our listeners know a little more about you and about what you do and more about Senior Helpers?
Absolutely. My husband, Abel, and I own the Senior Helpers location for South Denton and North Tarrant counties here in Texas. And we provide non-medical in-home care for seniors in their homes, in assisted livings, independent livings, any kind of facility work. Anywhere a senior is living, we can come and help them with any kind of daily living activities. It goes from, just companion care, chatting, taking them out on errands and outings, all the way up to personal care, full need clients, bathing, hygiene, anything necessary to live daily life.
Awesome. Well, what a great service, especially as population ages. I bet you guys there's a very high demand, I would suspect.
Absolutely. The baby boomer generation is coming up to age on, a lot of health issues and retirement time. And everybody's calling it the silver tsunami. There's a big group of people that need more help than ever before.
That's awesome. Well, I suspect there's a lot of competition out there also trying to provide. What's something that sets you and your team apart from others?
There's a lot of competition. I think the scariest and what sets not just us, but any kind of agency or licensed provider apart is going to be the licensing. We have, we deal with the state. They audit us. They're making sure that we're following guidelines that have been put forth by politicians and the community that votes for things like that. We hold insurance policies in case anything were to happen. Worst case scenario being death or some kind of theft. And private caregivers that aren't licensed and aren't insured are the scariest and biggest competition to us.
Probably without being licensed, they probably can lower their prices because they're not having to pay. I mean, there's fees that come along with licensing, but you definitely would strongly recommend making sure you're using license, and because they're going to be trained in just the safety stuff.
Yeah, and the amount of stories that we get from clients that come to us after an unlicensed person has been in the home, devastating. I mean, from drained bank accounts to just they are absolutely in a hole because of what this person or group has done. And then they don't know where to go from there. And it's just climbing out little by little. And it can do astonishing damage by not having.
It's so unfortunate that people are taking advantage of elderly or, disabled people like that. It's horrible. Well, thank goodness you guys are there doing it the right way and doing it, the proper way.
Right. We try. Yeah. We try to be that comfort to people and then also that help. And just kind of putting the word out there. And I'm happy to be a resource to anybody, whether you use our services or not. If I can help direct somebody to a licensed or insured provider, I'll do it anytime.
Awesome. Great stuff. Well, can you give us a brief history of how you ended up with this company and with this business going? Were you in healthcare before, or how did you guys end up with a Senior Helpers business?
Yeah, I was actually on the nursing path and decided that, really the clinical environment just was not for me. And then I had family members that started aging and they needed, one after another needed help and more help and more help. And even though I wasn't the sole caregiver, it was a family effort. We still needed to bring in outside help. And I have experience on the personal level of having my own family members need that help. And then my husband was in corporate America his whole career and decided that he wanted to be, his own kind of boss and try to pivot into something different. Okay. And I had a lifelong friend that is also a senior helpers owner in California, and she gave us a little push towards, let's just see what you can do with this, and we kind of went from there.
Oh,
And here we
awesome.
are, three years later in Texas, and working in this amazing field.
That's awesome. Have you, as you've kind of made your journey, have you come across any resources that you can recommend to our listeners that helped you improve either personal development or business wise, or any books or podcasts, any other resources that you've come across that you would recommend?
As far as business goes,
A business or personal development, any things that you've liked that you've come across?
I mean, honestly, my husband has been the biggest support and resource for that. He's an incredible team builder. His people development skills are just on another level. And so I can't give him any more credit than I already do,
Okay.
because he's truly like the reason why it's all succeeding. But I mean, generally just there takes a certain person to do this, and it's hard to be like a caregiver, and there's really no book or class that can teach you bedside manner.
You just naturally need some people naturally have it, right?
Yeah, you either have it or you don't. I mean, because a lot of times when people are sick or not feeling their best, it's a lot of times anger or anything like that is outwardly projected, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
at anybody. It's mainly at the situation.
Uh,
And you have to be able to kind of like let that just slide off your back, because it's not personal. It's just the situation. And so any kind of, I mean, anger management resources, mental health help, anything that you can kind of consume personally that is fit towards you can help that scenario, but at the same time, it takes a certain person. Not everybody's cut out to be a caregiver.
no, for sure. It's definitely. So as you've made this journey, what's one of the biggest challenges you guys feel like you've had to overcome?
Probably breaking into a market that is so saturated,
Mm-hmm.
not just with businesses, but with private caregivers. And people see, big corporate ads and, politicians debating on these CEOs' 12-figure bonuses that they got for the year. And they assume that all small businesses are the same,
Mm-hmm.
that we just have these marketing funds that compete with Walmart or, these big retailers. And, we're the people that are supporting, the softball teams and the little league teams and all
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff. And it helps tremendously to get that support back in return from the community as a small business.
Sure. Good stuff. So it sounds like things are going well and you guys are moving along. And a lot of times as people, especially entrepreneurs or business owners, all start having success, they realize they may want to create some kind of outside income also, potentially through different investments, real estate or stocks, bonds. Have you guys ever considered, investing in something that maybe that doesn't take your time or your labor, as an alternative investment? Maybe if not now, maybe something in the future. Is it something you've thought about?
We've been thinking about that a lot lately is how we can generate more passive income that doesn't necessarily take us as like an operator kind of a
Sure.
thing. I actually just started investing in my own, I think it's called an SEP IRA for like small business owners. I didn't even know that was an option.
Okay. Yeah.
We're working with Fidelity, but there's other businesses out there that you can get help with that with. But I had no idea that companies contribute so much to, whether it's your 401k matching or whatever it is. And once you're a small business owner, you're like, well, how do I, continue to grow my own personal wealth without
Sure.
that company backing? And there's, we're open to any kind of opportunity, but we actually have really started looking into that recently.
Awesome. Good. Good.
buying a home right now in the area. We're new to the area.
Okay.
The last 3 years. So we just, we're in escrow with a home.
Oh,
Just
good
moved
luck.
into the Grapevine area with our office. And yeah, we're looking for opportunities to expand our portfolio and start generating some passive income.
Awesome. Good stuff. So as for wrapping up the interview, do you have any exciting plan? You said something about expanding your portfolio. So are you guys got any new exciting initiatives or plans in the next 6 to 12 months?
6 to 12 months, not really. We're just expanding in the area. We just moved our office. We're going to be having a grand opening here in Grapevine, which is the Christmas capital of Texas, apparently. So we're going to try to gear that more towards the holiday season. And then we deal with a lot of veterans. We do a lot of veteran care. Veterans and any kind of military service is huge here in Texas, the support from the community for them. So we always try to bring that back. We worked with the Hero Flight programs and other VFWs in the area to kind of get some support going through them for the veterans.
Okay, great stuff. Well, Jonna, thank you so much for taking time today to share some great information and tips. And with our listeners, if people would like to reach out and get in touch with you, learn more about what you guys are doing, or maybe if they need your services, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Our website, seniorhelpers.com. You can put in your zip code and it will direct you to the closest office to you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Flex Forward podcast. Really appreciate it. And everyone, thank you for listening. Be sure to like and share, and keep tuning back in. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Flex Forward podcast. If you've got grit, growth, and a great story, visit flexforwardpodcast.com/guest to apply and join us on the show.